Okay, so I've started the recording and we are ready to get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Regina Edwards. I am the admin of the Lawyer on the Beach Facebook group. And I just kind of decided to do this sort of series because people are always asking about practice management systems, and it is really difficult to sort of compare from people that are using them, in real life and in their real practices, as opposed to sort of the salesy demos that might be online. So I just kind of reached out to people that I knew use these different practice management systems, and just so we would have a reference. So when new people come to the group, we can just send them a link saying, here, check this out. So Ms. Thornton is an attorney in Houston, and she practices PI, family. What else do you do?
I do probate, wills, and estates.
Okay. And she's been using Mycase for a while, and she's actually one of their ambassadors, so she knows a whole bunch about it. And some more people need to let in. Okay, so take it away. You can share your screen and go for it.
Okay, let me make sure that my screen is shared. Okay. So again, hold on, let me share this.
It's not shared yet.
Okay,
okay, it is now.
Okay, so anyway, I'm Rahlita Thornton. I am in Houston. I practice primarily personal injury and family law, but I do wills and probate and estates. I've been an attorney for 30 years here in Houston. Started in 1991 as an attorney, went straight through college and became a lawyer probably about 25 or 26.
And will you be sharing your skincare secrets at the end of this if you've been practicing for 30 years?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. So basically, I've been private practice ever since. And so up to now, I started Mycase in 2017. But even up to that point, I've only had one assistant for all those years. So one assistant being my secretary. So once I started with Mycase in 2017, I was able to automate a lot of things. And then I went from one assistant to now I have 4 assistants plus 2 part-time paralegals. So because a lot of them are virtual. And so I'm able to use virtual assistants in the Philippines on a regular basis. And so Mycase has helped with that. And so I just want to start off by saying that. And then also I am on the Mycase advisory board, but I am not here as a representative of Mycase. I'm just here to share with you what I do. And hopefully some of the ladies from my Boss Ladies Lawyer group they've tuned in because they've asked me to do some webinars within our group. I have another group and it's called Boss Lady Lawyers, Mycase users. And so they've asked me to do some webinars. So hopefully they're going to be able to look at this one as well. Okay, so I have created a sample case here. And so it is called Sean Platon, and this is an accident case, and that is how we set up our cases. So what I want to start out first with, I'm gonna try to go through some of the ways I use it. There's a whole bunch more, but I just want to kind of get through some of these things that I do. And I want to apologize in advance because I've always talked fast, and so I have to slow myself down. So hopefully you all are writing down questions as we go, and we can do them at the end. But I may start talking fast, and I apologize. But if y'all need to ask me something at the end, feel free to do that.
Nicole's asking you to speak a little bit louder. I can hear her okay. So if you could speak a little bit louder.
Okay, I'll get closer to the computer. Is that better?
Yes, it's a little better. And Theta, I think DOA is date of accident.
Yes,
she's asking what. Okay, yeah.
Date of accident. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so and one of the other reasons why I went with trying to get a CRM in the first place was because I was tired of traveling back and forth with files, hard copy files in my car. And so I was doing a lot of work from home. And I thought I need to have everything in one place so I don't have to be worried about what files do I need from the office, which ones do I need to take home, and so on and so forth. So Mycase, I looked at Mycase and I looked at another one, I think it was Clio, but Clio was too expensive for me at the time. And so I just went with Mycase. And so I've been with them since 2017 again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of the most important things that I use Mycase for, and it's the workflows. And the workflows have allowed me to create a set of tasks, a set of documents, and a set of calendar events for this particular case. So like if I do accident cases and I do litigation, and so I have different workflows that I've created in advance, but I'm just going to show you all how I would do that. So let's say I get, for example, a motion for some document. I want to object to those documents because maybe the time frame is too long and they're trying to get everything in the world about my client's medical history and background. So anyway, I have created this workflow before, but I'm just going to show you how I apply it. I will go up to my settings and I will go over to my workflows here. And I'm going to show you, these are some of my workflows that I have. So I have some set up for accidents, and I have some set up for family law, and I have a couple set up for probate wills. Okay. So the one that I'm referring to now would be this one right here, accidents, where I'm responding to a request from opposing attorney. They're trying to do a deposition of written questions on a third party. So anyway, I would apply this workflow here like that. I would, I'm sorry, I gotta move this up out of my way over here a little bit. Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back to the client's case. So that is a copy of the task and everything in their workflow. So you all can see here, there's gonna be a calendar event here that's gonna automatically be set up on Mycase calendar. These documents here are going to automatically populate once these tasks are complete to the right. So like for a motion to quash, that's going to be generated after the admin, and I named this myself, the admin. So I make this an admin task. And so once she does mark these complete, these 3 documents are supposed to populate, as well as this calendar event that will go on the calendar. And let me show you what time. So I have this event set up for a deadline of 8 a.m. for 8, that's an all day event. So that's going to be our deadline. Alrighty. So, and here's some other subtasks within this workflow. And so I have named these specifically for paralegal, attorney, or admin. So I tried to add that to, that's something I did. That's not something that Mycase had. Okay, so let me go back to this case and I'm going to apply the workflow. So how I do that, I go up under workflows, I go to apply workflow, and I go and I look for that workflow, which was responding here. And so today, for example, is the date that we received it via email. So then I'm going to assign this to my staff and apply the workflow. Okay, so I can edit that, I can change whoever gets it or whatever, but anyway, so those have been set up. So if I go back to here, then these tasks should be set up here. So these are some of the tasks that have been set up here. Let's see which ones. Okay, so here it is, due today. Immediately inform the attorney and the paralegal on the case. And I put all these subtasks in here already, so that's automatically done. So I'm going to just mark it complete just so you can see. So once I mark that complete, you see how another document populated. It says that now I can add the contact here, continue, and this same automatic document that I have previously created is going to be populated in my document.
So where does a document show up in? Oh, right there.
Right. So you go
Okay.
to the documents. You go up under the documents.
Okay, that is kind of hot.
Right. And so all of the work is here. And so they're populated. And so the person whoever's doing that task, they would, like I said, more. So the next task would be for them to complete the letter, which let me see where that one is. Because I went ahead and applied another, I have an accident workflow here too. But anyway, the next one would be to go ahead and to send the letter. So there's going to be another task that I set up for my assistant to take this letter and modify it. And so I tried to template this letter such that I really don't even have to look at it every time. And you have to do a motion to quash and Texas within 3 days of getting this. So sometimes, yeah, you got to file a motion to quash. So you got to pay attention. So I'll look at it real quick and say, yeah, I want a motion to quash. And then my assistants can do the rest. And
Can we
so
see what the letter looks like, how it formats and everything?
Right. Okay. So we also, this is another part, since we're here, the Mycase file sync, we don't have to upload and download anymore. We can just hit this allow button here. And let me see if it's going to come back on the screen, but this is a sync program. I'm not sure if it's going to show up on this Mycase screen. I don't think it is. Oh, yes. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can't see it.
You can or cannot?
Cannot.
Okay, then. So I got to do a different share, I believe.
Yeah, you'd have to stop sharing and then share a different screen.
Yeah, let me share this Word document. Here it is right here. Okay, so this is the letter that I've previously prepared. And so there's supposed to be fields here, which we don't have any fields because this is a new case and we haven't input those fields. Like I said, this is a sample case I'm doing just for this webinar. So anyway, but if we would have put the fields in here for client, defendant, case number, and all that kind of stuff, that would have automatically populated here. But this list down the entities, that's something specific for the case. So the assistant would have they have to do this part, the list down the entities. But anyway, this is my generic letter that I have my assistants fax to the opposing attorney. Okay. So they're supposed to do all this. They're supposed to send it to the court reporter and all that. So that's one letter. Let me go back to my case and see what the, okay. So let me see what the motion looks like. I mean, if you want to do that. So, and that Mycase sync, that, like I said, that's something new in the last not 30 days, maybe 6 months or so. But you see how these fields are empty here. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to share. Okay, here we go. That is the motion to quash. Okay, so anyway, so that's the information that the assistants have to insert. That's a standard language kind of documents already, prepared, ready to go. And that's kind of a generic template. Okay, so let me go back to my case and go to something else.
So someone asked a question about a deadline. And I think I know the answer to this, that you can do deadlines two ways. You can either say, for example, what she just did is we got a request on August 31st, and then it tracks the deadlines based on the request date, or you can do it backwards. Like if you know that your trial is going to be September 15th, you can create a workflow where you set your trial from September 15th, and then it does tasks before then and the specified days that you pick in terms of when those documents or when those tasks need to be done in advance of the final drop dead date.
That's true, which I plan on doing one for like a scheduling order. I plan on doing a set of triggers, a workflow. Based on the trial date, you can have, you could figure out 60 days before trial, this is the deadline. So I plan on all the stuff
yourself, or did someone help you do it?
I'm going to do that myself. I saw that there's a website that will do it and charge you $25 a scheduling order. So I said, I think I could do that, put it in my case. So I don't have to worry about fooling with another website and going off grid. So I plan on preparing that one for my workflows. So, okay, so that is, that's one of the benefits though of that Mycase sync and also this thing. Now let me show you the calendar on this particular client. So the deadline, see, it had automatically put it there. So that deadline was 3 days from the time we received it. So it automatically populated onto the calendar. So we didn't have to calendar it. So that was good. And okay, and so that is that. So let me go here. I'm going to start over here with items and info. And I'm going to also begin with the info here. This is a dummy case again. This is good. I like this here. It's like when a client fills out their intake form, we can have those fields populated here and we can see everything from this screen. I'm going to see, these are the ones these are custom fields that I created. So if I'm on the phone with an adjuster or whoever, and I want to know some of the answers to these questions, they should all be right here. So all I have to do is click on this instead of trying to go to another screen. That's going to be the first page over there in items and info. Okay, and then up under here for activity and timeline, this is something where you can have a case timeline for everything that has happened from the beginning of the case.
Okay, Rahlita, you're going too fast.
Okay, who's that telling me that?
This is Theta.
Okay.
This is going to be recorded, so you can watch it over and over.
That's okay. I appreciate that. I told y'all at first that I like to talk fast.
Okay.
So thank you for, I'm going to slow down. So thank you. I will. Definitely.
Can you go back to, you just said I created this in the info section, and this is everything.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to that real quick.
Okay.
So this is the info section. So you have to have fields that you can automatically create yourself. I'm not automatically, but you have to create those fields. And those fields are things that you do constantly over and over again. So you would make a list. I'm always needing this information. I'm always needing that information. So we created those fields. And these fields we can put in intake form. So when a client fills out these fields or their intake form, that information is going to go directly here in the info.
Can you send them an intake form with a link, or do they have to, is there something through Mycase where you have to send it through there? Can you send them a web link?
Yeah, we have the ability to send a link to the intake form for the specific client. And we could, I think we could text a link too. So I think they can do it on their phone. I'm not doing that part a lot now while intake coordinator is, but I think we could text the intake coordinator, and we could email the intake form. So I think we can copy a link, we can send it to a text message. I think we could also email it so they can fill it out on their computer. And so
the base, I was gonna say, the basic idea is no matter what type of law you practice, this is 1000% customizable. So I'm family law, so I'd always want to know, when did you get married? How old are your kids? What are their dates of birth? When's the last time y'all, had the nookie? I need to know these things. So no matter what.
About that, you're gonna ask them that. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, we have to, because in Georgia, you don't have to live separate when you file. So there are people that live in the house together until they get, I know it's crazy. So you can live in a house together until you get divorced, but you probably should, stop having sex with the person that you're trying to divorce. So,
Noted.
So yeah, you can make this customizable for whatever area that you practice, and whatever that information that you keep getting from your clients on a repeated basis, it can all show up there. And it is super helpful. Like if you have a hearing and you need to know something at a glance, this is what you're looking at.
Yeah, so this is kind of like your info form here. And so here where it says hide custom fields without a value. So let's say that they didn't fill out anything, then that's what you do there. You don't have to see just the questions that you're asking. So that's what that does. And then on the same screen, do you see how you can kind of look at your case at a glance? If there were status updates up here to the top right, whatever task or due or whatever events on the case, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to go now and click back to the activity and timeline. And here you can see everything that has gone on from the beginning of your case. So the first tasks that were set up, all the way to the messages, notes, everything in one place. So if you need to kind of figure out like what's going on, what's been happening with this case, then you can do this, you can look at this. And then also I like it as well, is because if you have some kind of complaint from a client, all you have to do is hit print. And then they're saying she wasn't doing any work on my case. Well, you have all of this as proof. And it's basically you setting up a lot of events and tasks. And it's a lot of information within the body of those things. So there's your proof there. And then you can also, here's your calendar. You can look at this.
Does the calendar sync with Outlook, Google Calendar, or both?
Yeah, it does I think for most of them. Google and Microsoft. I know I use Microsoft, but we could use Google as well. And so it's a two-way sync. So I get reminders from my Outlook through Mycase. And so, but I primarily just use my calendar in Mycase because I like to start there to make sure everything is straight. But you do get reminders there. Okay, and then here with documents, I don't have any folders. But you can create folders and add your own folders there. Let me see if I can do it here. Like you can apply default folders that you create. So if you have a certain set of folders that you want them to look like all the time for accident cases, you can just apply those folders, and then those folders go there, and then you just put the documents into those folders as you go. Okay, let's see. Task screen. Okay, hold on. I gotta plug up. My battery's low. Did you see the message? That message just said.
And no, we didn't see the message.
I did. Okay, hold on just a minute. Can I pause y'all for a minute?
No problem.
Okay, hold on.
So default folders, I mean, you can have as many as, if you have more than one area of practice, you can have a separate set of default folders for each area. And even in each area, you know, an accident, I would assume, I don't do PI, but assume an accident case is different than a slip and fall case, which is different than, I don't know, you get hit by a truck kind of case. But if you have a set of default folders, then you can just name it whatever, and then you can just apply it to that particular case. So you're not reinventing the wheel each time.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for the taking over. But I'm plugged it back up. Thank you.
Good.
Okay. So yes, ma'am. So you can do those default folders for all the different practice areas. I mean, you can have whatever folders you want to apply. Okay. But anyway, so those are the tasks there up under this task screen here. This just kind of give you an idea of what's going on with the task. There's a note section here. You can make whatever notes you want. You can have multiple notes. You can have one note. For me, I just like to have one set of notes where we communicate with third parties, and that's where we put all our information. And I like to do that because I can use the notes on my app, and so I can use the microphone on my iPhone, and I can just dictate it directly into the note, and it's going to be here in the Mycase note for other folks to see.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It makes me feel so professional. But yeah, so it just goes directly there, and then you can move on. And I probably would say more than what I would type. So I probably would have a better note by me doing the transcription. Alrighty, so okay, intake form. So in case you sent out intake forms, you can do more than just one intake form to somebody. And so they would live here and they would show somebody submitting it. But since my assistant didn't really do an intake form, I don't have one to show y'all. But the intake form is going to take those fields that you did put in the intake form and put them into that info. Excuse me. And then you could click on here to see what workflows you have already put into this case up to, so now I just have these two workflows that have been applied to this case. Alrighty.
And one thing, I know you're talking about billing next, but one thing about the tasks, so there is, I'm assuming that there's an option in the task as they're completing the task for them to bill for it simultaneously, correct?
Oh, yes, it is. Let's go to one. Excuse me. Okay, so here's initial setup. So yeah, they can. So after they're finished, well, this is actually going to edit the task. So let me see if I can get to it. But while we're here,
It says add time entry at the top right.
Yeah, but this is me editing the task more, completing the task here.
Okay.
So but while I'm here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this complete because I got another document that automatically populates, and I want to see it do it since I'm here. Okay, let's see if it did it. 0%. It's a new client letter that I do.
And Emily wants to know when you use notes versus when you use status updates.
Okay. Hold on, let me get to this task real quick. And I think what I'm gonna have to do is actually go to the task, which I am doing. I'm just trying to figure out how excuse me, to mark this complete. I maybe have to click all the buttons. I want to see if this new client letter populates here. Okay, so all right. And since I don't have fields, let's see if it's there. I've got to refresh my signal in order to get that new client letter, I think, to populate there. Okay, well, it hadn't populated yet. We'll come back to it because it may be a signal issue. It needs to refresh. But what was the question again?
When do you use notes versus status updates? Like, is status updates automatic, or is it something that you input?
Oh, okay. So for notes, that I only use it for when we talk to third parties or the client on the phone. And so I expect a note to be generated just for that or made. Otherwise, that's the only reason why it's internal for us. That's not for clients. Now for the status updates, that is for you, it's just for firm use. And you can put whatever status updates you want, and it's not automatic. So if you want certain assistant to have information to tell your client about an update in case somebody calls or in case somebody messages you, that status update can be something that everybody's confident that they can tell the client. So you can drop it there. I don't use it because it was a new feature in the last year or so for Mycase, and I do my own thing. So I haven't really been using the status updates, but I think it's probably good for a lot of people who have other people giving clients status updates. So if somebody put that there as they go, and you have a 500, you're limited to 500 characters on it. And so that's just for the firm. But what I do, and I've given this tip to my group, this is what I do for my status of the case for clients. I have in my initial setup workflows, I have them create a status of the case. So this is the last name of the client, that's status of case. And so this is the message that we post in here. This is our own workaround. Again, I think Mycase is customizable. I think that this is something that I wish they would have, but they don't. So I figured it out. So what we do is we give them a message and we say, don't start new threads. Keep everything here. So we only have one chain. Okay, so my assistant has already done this yesterday. And so if I change assistants, he leaves, I can just hit this invite users, and I can just invite another user, whoever I assign to the case, and then they'll be on the same chain with this everything as it has happened. And so they can see what is going on with the case.
Can the client edit that also?
The client, I don't think the client can invite users. They never tried.
But can the client like give you updates through this?
Oh yeah, this is where we
expect
them to put it. In fact,
okay, good.
Yeah, because we don't do emailing or anything. They don't have our email addresses. They are expected to only put their messages right here in this chain, the whole case. So
it's such a good idea. I don't do the emails either. I use a portal for that, and it's good for a lot of reasons, but as she explained, if someone else leaves and someone else is coming in, all they can do is they can just review this one place and everything is right there. Plus, we all know that our clients sometimes just things pop into their head at 2 o'clock in the morning and they want to tell their lawyer. And if they have your email, they're going to email you. They have your cell phone, they're going to text you. But this is what I call like a Twitter feed, except it's not constantly coming into my brain space at the time that it's leaving their brain space. So they can update this whenever they want to. And then of course the firm can look at it whenever you're ready to look at it and to do something on it. So that way they can get it off their plate and onto yours, but it's not a constant interruption. So
right, exactly. And so one of the things that we've done, probably with your suggestion, was we don't take unscheduled phone calls. So they're expected to put these messages here. So if they should call, we have voicemail messages that say that if you're a current client, put your messages in the portal. So they get to come back to the portal regardless, even if they didn't read their letter, which I give them at the beginning that tells them they're supposed to. So they figure it out, and we hardly talk to clients. I don't have a current client scheduled to talk to today at all. In fact, not even this week, actually. So I'm the
same way too, and I'm family law. People think I'm crazy that I don't take unscheduled phone calls and I don't talk to clients that much. And I talked to a client today because the police were at her door. But other than that, I'll go weeks without speaking to clients because we have something similar to this where everything is posted in a portal. They post to a portal. And it's all there. So when clients are getting sort of all of these pings, and her workflows are ridiculous, honestly, like they're so built out that her clients are getting updates on a regular basis and something is happening in their portal. And that really limits clients calling you because it's not like they're not hearing from the firm. So the more automation you have, the more, hey, here's what's going on. Here's the next step. Here's what's been completed that they're getting on a regular basis, the less likely they're going to call and say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a month. What's going on with my case?
Right.
So how do you know, with email, you get an email. How do you know if a client has put a message in the portal?
Okay, so if they put a message here, then we would go up to the notifications up here under communications and then messages. See the messages here. That's where all the messages are. And I'm not going to click there because those are other messages. But these messages, you would have a notification. And you could choose that too. Because I think you can get an email, but I just want my notifications inside this portal. I don't want emails.
So yeah,
But
you could get an email every single time someone posts something, which to me would defeat the purpose because I wouldn't want that either. But when you're ready to sit down and do focused work, the first place you would go is the communications portal and then see if there's any messages that you need to respond to or to delegate. And it's all right there instead of looking through, hundreds of emails.
Right. And so we can just get an answer. Okay, great. And thanks. And I don't bill for that. And I just move on. The client knows somebody said something or they recognize it and moved on. And I don't have to. And also my letter says we have 24 to 36 hours to respond to even these messages. So this isn't instant messaging. I put that in my letter. This is not instant messaging. So also we do an inner office chain here. So we start up. So this is just for me and my assistants and whoever's going to be on the case. And so again, when they leave too, we can invite another user and then they can see everything that has happened. And then I like this also because you can hit this print button and you'll get a PDF. Let me see if I think it's gonna pop up here. Do y'all see that? Even though I changed some settings in my printer and that is not supposed to be like an envelope. But anyway, so this will be a PDF. And if I need to send this to somebody that's complained about me not doing any work or what's going on with their case, all I have to do is show them all of this proof here. And it's
a lot easier than sorting through emails. Yeah.
Exactly. And the clients don't have to sort through all those emails when they're trying to figure out stuff either. They just click on that status of the case thing. So let me see. Are we still on my case? Let me get. I just clicked away from there.
If someone's asking if you use that for inner office chat, but do you chat with people in your firm through the Mycase chat, or do you use something else?
Yeah. What do you see on your screen here? Because I'm trying to
nothing. There's nothing on there now.
Okay, let me go back. I went ahead and kind of went away from my case. Okay. That is a good question. We do a chat. My case also started within the last 6 months or so, maybe a year, I don't know. But anyway, we have an instant chat feature. And so we can create channels and add people to them, take them off too. And so we only use those for instant, like I need to tell you something right away. I don't want my assistants just instant chatting me about where is this, where is that. That's not what that's for. That's for kind of off task things like I need to get signed into this, I need signed into that, I need to log in for this or something. This is not working right. That's only if something's, but I don't need to get chats all day from them either. So anyway, let me get back to my case.
Oh, and at the end, just make sure I'll remind you. I know you have a Facebook group for Mycase, and I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
So someone asked about that.
Okay.
And I tried to Google and I can't find it.
Okay. It is just definitely Facebook. And I'm trying, I think I got kicked off of my case. So let me get back there and so I can make sure I'm in the right place with my sample. Okay, I got him back. My sample client here. Do you all see it? Can you see the Mycase?
No, you haven't shared it yet.
I have not. Okay.
Nope.
I gotta move this around here so I can hit this. Okay. So,
While you're doing that, I'm gonna put her, this is the code. Is it the Boss Lady Lawyers Mycase user? Because that's only gonna work for about half the people.
That's it. That's the Facebook group.
Oh, okay. Sorry, dudes. But anyway, yeah, there is a Boss Lady Lawyers subgroup for Mycase users. And I also posted the link. This is her code. So if you log in with the code, I think you get an extended free trial.
Well, the
And-
code actually you'll get I think it's 3 months.
Oh, yeah, that is extended. Yeah, 3 months free, it says.
3 months free if you sign up with my link. And it says on there, yeah, I think I get maybe a gift card or something, but I never really pay attention and do that too much. I kind of just help people in general. But it's always a bonus if I'll be able to get some benefit from it. I'm trying to get back to my Zoom screen so I can share a screen correctly here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so back on the screen share. Okay, y'all, where was I? I was over here with messages, wasn't I? Okay, so yeah, so those things you can do right there. Now, you all asked about that chat feature. I'm not sure if you can see it here
Oh, yeah, it's down at the bottom.
at the bottom. Let me see. Here.
Keep going over and then down.
Right
Yep.
here at the bottom. Yeah, so I have different, I can't open them up because I think the substance will come up. But like I added one for like all of the admins. If they have questions, they'll put it in the chat. Onboarding of new assistants, I'll put it there in the chat if they have questions. And so that's kind of how we try to stay in Mycase and communicate. Let's see what it is.
And they also have texting, right? You can text your clients through this portal.
Yes, ma'am. So up under communications, do you see there's also a call log, which these are new features. I'm gonna get to the text since I'm going left to right. But anyway, so here are it's a call log. You could add calls if you wanted to do that. So we don't do that because again, we don't have that many calls. So, but if you did, you could log them here. Text messages. We can see the text messages on a particular client's case. In this case, we haven't texted. This is the sample one, but they will all show up here. And you can also print these out as well in case you needed to. And you can use emails, but I don't use the emails here. We started doing something else, and Mycase came up with the integration. And but to me, it's a little slow coming in. So I don't really use the email section because you got to connect them to a client too. And right now I don't even have time to figure out if that's going to be worth my time. So, but I could if I wanted to. Sometimes I'll do something, I'll connect it something, but very rarely. Okay, and then if I wanted to have just a chat about this particular client, like the instant chat, I could create a channel. But again, I'm not using that either because I don't want a lot of instant messages. I don't like having notifications all day long, even from my staff. That's why we use this inner office communications chain, because you can get to those messages whenever you feel like it. And so they're supposed to do it here too. Now, another thing that we could use to communicate are the comments in the task. So for example, here, let's say the setup procedure. Okay, I can comment about something that's going on here. And then whoever's on the task can see those comments. So what I do is I say, we're only going to comment on the task. We're not going to comment in that inner office chain on a regular basis, because why? When that person is gone and I want to add another person, then they can see all of these comments that we've done on this particular task. And so they don't have to ask me any questions for the most part. They can read the subtask, they can read what has been done thus far, and then they can jump right on in. So this is extremely important for people to follow and to put their comments there.
Someone asked if Mycase is working on an integration with Lawmatics.
Lawmatics, I think they are. I think I heard somebody saying that they were supposed to be working on that. I'm not part of the beta group or testing or any questions. Nobody's asked me anything about it. But in our boss lady group, somebody did say that they thought they were working on something, but don't quote me on that. But I think I remember somebody saying that. Now, I haven't really been doing much advertising, but if I did at this particular point in time, I probably would do something like with Active Campaign or something else to where that goes to an independent source. And so once the lead comes in, we would put them into Mycase. But I don't really even do anything like that. But so I can't really speak to all the automation that Lawmatics has. Because I don't really use it and haven't, but I do plan on doing something soon. But I don't really need a lot of more clients right now. So I'm not really running anything, no ads, no Google ads or anything. And so anyway, but with my case, it keeps everything centralized. We're able to figure out what's going on with a case. My clients, they love it because they get their documents like right away. They know what's going on with their case almost immediately. And so I have certain rules for like my car accident cases. They share everything with the clients except for when there's dollar amounts that are involved, because I don't like people getting antsy about the adjuster just going up by $500. So we tell clients that we're gonna be working and we have goals, but I don't want to bog them down and frustrate them just because the adjuster is trying to frustrate us, which we don't really allow that to happen either. But so I have certain rules as far as sharing documents and what have you. But again, I don't mail anybody anything. The clients know that we won't be expecting any mail coming from us, that they're expected to check this portal every day or every other day and keep up with what's going on. One thing I've done recently, and I'll share with you all, I have in my contract that the invoice is supposed to be paid within 7 days. And really it's due upon receipt, but within 7 days, I can withdraw. And they sign something specifically saying that I can withdraw. So what I will do is I will upload the invoice and I will say, invoice uploaded, due upon receipt or something like that. I'll either give them a copy of it. And then the next thing I'll do is to create a calendar event that says, withdrawal of case.
If you have not paid this bill.
If the bills are not paid on that day, at about 5 o'clock on that day. So, and then it automatically has rules where it notifies the client, texts the client. So that it just starts texting the client this event. So probably within an hour or 2 hours of me doing this event, the client is paying their bill because they're like, oh, she's gonna be off this case next week if I don't pay this bill. So I get these bills, I'm getting these bills paid like the same day of posting this. No, let me talk to you about this. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to waste on my assistants, spending money for them to chase them down for those either. So that's something I started doing recently, probably about 2 weeks ago. And I don't even have to hardly say anything.
It's effective. I've done it too. And so Mycase has their own sort of, do they have their own payment system or are they linked with Lawpay?
They do. Yeah, they do. They have their own payment system. So yeah, I could go ahead and create a bill in a minute, you know, based on everything. So I had to do an invoice probably within a week because the case was about to close out and I wanted to go ahead and get an invoice out. And so that's what I did. And so the client was like, didn't you just send me an invoice? I was like, yes, but remember I told you that you were going to have another one before we finalized this case. And so I put it on the calendar again. So she had a calendar event withdraw from case probably within 3 or 4 days. But anyway, she paid the bill. So I don't have to, I'm not worrying about that anymore. So that really is effective to get people to know that you're serious about getting paid or else you're getting off the case. And no back.
And I'm flat fee. So for people that are flat fee, I mean, you can put as calendar events when you take the case. Mine is actually scheduled in terms of dates, but if it's sort of tied to something, like if you have an initial payment and, you know, you're paid an a la carte flat fee for a temporary hearing, that can all be in your workflow also. So when a temporary hearing is set, you're not just giving instructions to your team and how to prepare for it, but you can also set up a task for a calendar event to go to your client saying you need to pay for this temporary hearing right now. So that all can be built in. Yes,
you can. And that's the beauty of workflows. So you're able to calendar that as well. So if you did have that 30 days out from when you initially set up the case, then it's going to automatically populate and go to that person. And so you don't have to think about it again. Just let the calendar remind them and you just get to doing the work. And so can your assistant. And so, yeah, so I like that. I think this is pretty much, I've gone through a lot. And you know what about the word templates? Okay, so you can create your own templates. I know some people probably are not doing it. I know I wasn't doing it before I hired an assistant that kind of knew what she was doing, because I couldn't figure out how to do a Word template. And I was just like, I think I just need to hire somebody for that, because I couldn't figure out all about the fields and what, it was just too technical for me. But anyway, so now we do have templates. Let me see if I can get to them. We have, we built templates as my assistant went along. And so I'm gonna go see if they'll pop up here.
And there's also e-signature as well. So you can create a document, get them to sign it, or you can have a template that you built out that you can just add to a client file and immediately and send it out. So that can work for
Right.
retainer agreements, verifications, really anything.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, anyway, these are my templates. And I'm going to tell you that about our e-signature too in a minute, e-signing. But anyway, these are just some templates these were built out as we go along. So when we had a letter and somebody drafted up, and I was like, you know what, we're going to use this letter more often. Let's just go ahead and template these things. And so that's what we've done. We've just created them as we've gone along. And then to Regina's point about the e-signing, we can also e-sign through this portal. We don't even need a DocuSign or anything else. This is all built into our subscription. Let me go here and show you. If I wanted the client to sign this right here, then all I have to do is create this document. See if I can do it real fast for you all. This is a requesting an e-signature of this particular document. I can hit here. Who do I want to sign? Do I want my client to sign? Prepare the document for signing. It's going to create a PDF automatically. And then I'm going to just insert these fields. These are the available fields. And so that takes a couple of minutes to create the PDF.
And someone asked about the Mycase Dropbox integration. So I just posted the link, which I think explains a lot about it, but essentially, yeah, they can sync. So whatever you're putting in your folders in Mycase can automatically be synced to Dropbox at the same time, which honestly, for most practice management firms, I would encourage you to do, because I'm a cheater. I don't stay with anyone for long, and I'm always worried about having to get my data out. But if you're syncing everything to Dropbox, then it's a lot easier than having to export it, later on if you're trying to leave something. So, and just as a general rule, I don't think it's a good idea to have all your eggs in one basket. So I would encourage anyone that's using a practice management system that links with some external cloud service to use it, so you can have duplicate files. And they sync, so it's not like you would be duplicating efforts or missing out on anything. But you just have it in different places.
Yeah, the Dropbox integration does sync. You can get to your Dropbox files, but the drawback on that is that I haven't used it because I decided not to use it, but you can't share those files to Mycase within the portal. So your share is with your Dropbox.
Right.
So it's a place. The Dropbox is sit in Mycase, but you still have to treat Dropbox as if you were using Dropbox without Mycase.
And yeah, Nancy, you are correct. That is a good workaround, and that is what I suggested to the other attorney in my case, and she didn't want to do it. But yeah, so if you are syncing to Dropbox, instead of her sending me the Mycase link, she could have sent me the Dropbox link, but she didn't. But that's okay.
And so
are small problems.
Do y'all still see this thing that says we're
it just hasn't populated yet.
Okay, because I think it may have be a signal, or maybe because I'm on here on this Zoom or something that is not, because it should have populated by now. It's just a one-page document, so I'm not sure if it has anything to do with one or the other. I'm going to cancel that. Anyway, so that normally works pretty good, and you just assign the fields to the signature and you send it out, and then the client gets something in their email, and they can either hand draw or just type a signature, and then you get it back in Mycase. So the document shows back up as being signed, and it will appear in these document section here as being a signed document, and then you can move on with it and use it. And now the courts, since we've been doing a lot of virtual, they're accepting a lot of e-signed signatures from clients now. Before they were saying we need to have an actual signed signature, but I notice now the courts are letting us use it.
Thankfully ours are, and that is, oh gosh, that's changed everything. I don't have to my clients come in and sign or just do the FedEx thing back and forth. I send all of my documents, settlement agreements, everything around HelloSign, and just send it off and we're done.
Right. And so, you can get stuff done. And so the clients aren't that frustrated and what have you. I mean, I even send third parties things to sign, like yeah, like if I would add them to the portal, like if we need a waiver or something, or signed decree or something like that from a husband or wife divorce, then I'll just send it to them an email and have them sign it.
Yeah, and I think people appreciate it now. I mean, it was hard for me to convince people to try to do this 4 or 5 years ago, but once COVID hit and everybody was using DocuSign and these things, it just wasn't difficult to convince people to use it because it does have the audit trail. So it's not really an authentication issue. So
Right. And so we don't have to pay extra for that in my case. So excuse me. So that's good. You know, so we don't have to pay extra subscription fee for anything else. So you know, my case is a good value when you start looking at everything that's here that you need to use on a regular basis. And so that's why I like it. I'm going to see, oh, I shouldn't have really gone there.
and I'm going to post another link because there's obviously a lot more that Mycase can do, but you know, she's kind of limited in what she can show us because she's not going to spend hours and hours trying to duplicate dummy stuff for us to look at. And she's not going to show private client information, but they have an article website, which I will post. Do they have a chat feature? I don't know if they have a chat feature, but they have a lot of
They do. They have a chat
they
feature.
do, okay. But they definitely have a lot of articles about different things. I know they've got some videos. They do have chats as unavailable right now, but it's a pretty robust database, I think, in terms of you know, just kind of articles to sort of help you through different issues. And the other thing to keep in mind is it may seem overwhelming. I am a nerd and I absolutely love this stuff. I like building out workflows. That's my thing. If you have a life, unlike me, and you don't enjoy it, then you throw money at the problem. And there are people that can do it for you and not charge a lot of money, especially in comparison to the money that you'd be losing. Not to mention the bail money once you like want to kill someone from doing it. So you can always hire someone on Fiverr or someone recommended by Mycase to build it out for you. And even though it's really difficult, I think, to set up the workflows, it can be difficult. Once it's set up, you're good. Like it runs like clockwork, and the setting up really is the hardest thing to do. So the main thing, what you do is you kind of, and by the way, some of her workflows are posted in the Lawyer on the Breach group. You just sit down and just write it out by hand if you have to. What's everything that I do in a, you know, motorcycle accident case from beginning to end, and then take each step and break it down even further, because the way, you know, the reason why she was able to expand is because she doesn't have to explain these things to people and everything is just broken out. So even if it's something as send a letter, which you think would be simple, you still break it down into tasks, like get the client information from here, get the opposing party or the adjuster information from here, you know, look in this particular area to add this information to the letter. Just make it as specific as possible so that leaves zero room for confusion. And it just makes it a lot easier to run a remote team with a lot of people because they're not asking you a million questions a day. Right. So Juan is asking if you know anyone that helps build workflows personally. Who is Crystal? Someone does that on here?
Is she here?
I don't know. If someone's on here that builds workflows, speak up.
Well, we do refer to Crystal in our group, in our Mycase group. Now, if anybody wants to join the Boss Ladies group and doesn't have a Mycase already, then when you request to join and you say you're not using it, normally I don't let folks in. But anyway, if you want to do that, and I'll send you my link. So if y'all want to sign up for it. But we try to have it for people that are actually using Mycase, so we can have our focus on the actual details on what we need to do for Mycase. But that's another way of getting the link, and I'll provide it to you all. Okay, well.
And you can always just send it to me on Facebook, because when I post this video in the group and it on YouTube, it's going to have the links below it. So, you know, you'll have the link to find someone to build it out, but it's well worth the money, because I've seen her workflows and they are incredibly detailed. And it would take a pretty long time to set that up.
And I'm on here. This is Crystal.
Okay.
I do build out the workflows.
Okay, can you just drop your link in the chat to everyone, and then I'll make sure to add it to the video also.
Yes.
Okay. And I've also, in reference to the support that Mycase had, I just wanted to add that I even have my assistants take the videos, watch the videos as part of their training. So they have to watch videos on the workflow templates, billing, and so on and so forth. So that's part of their onboarding on day one. And then I add my specifics as far as how I handle and customize workflow for me. So they're expected to read that. And also I'm trying to put some videos in there too. A couple of videos are there. But anyway, so that is part of their training. And so it really doesn't take no longer than a day for the virtual assistants to come up to speed. I have my virtual assistants doing e-filing, and that is all in my virtual assistant guide. So they can get all that. They don't even have to ask me questions about it. So that was important. Let me see, I'm gonna do, now I'm filling some more time. Okay, on this time and billing, I wanted to show, I think you had asked me a question about being able to go to a task and being able to bill for it without, let me see here, test. Let me see if I can do it here. Oh yes, let's see if it's down here. Because there is a way to bill. Maybe
Yeah, you can add time entry at the top.
Yeah, at
Oh,
the
at the
top.
top. Oh, okay, here it is at the top. All right then. So, okay, so add the time entry at the top. And so you can add it there. So let's hit that. Thank you, Regina. So it automatically gives you this particular client's case, and you can go ahead and select your activity. And these activities are anything that you want them to be. You can have whatever you want in those activities. And then you kind of put a description here, put the duration, but you got to put your duration about whatever time it is. You got to do that. It doesn't automatically track that time. So anyway, but it does put it up so you don't have to look for it. So that is that. And you can also do that under the messages. Here, you can also see the reply with a timer button here. You can do it there.
And there's a general timer there that stays static right there. So it stays static the entire time. So whether you're working on a document or a task, they can just start the timer, and when it ends, I think it asks if you want to bill it, and then it'll bill it to a specific file. Or if you're in the file, it'll know to bill to that file and just add more detail about what you were doing.
Right. You can have 3 timers, 3 or 5 at one time. I don't know, at one time going, and you just stop them as you go. And then down here for the smart time, if y'all can see down here, this kind of gives you reminders about certain things. It may remind you at the end of the day that you bill for this, that you bill for that, and it'll tell you the items. And so if you haven't billed, you can pull up some of those items for those particular cases and go ahead and add your billing in at the end of the day if you want to. Okay, let me see. We better get to questions.
Anybody have any questions?
I know somebody got some questions.
I feel like they asked them as they went along. So yeah, there's a lot. So it's a lot to think about when you, okay, so Crystal has put the link, and I'll put it to everyone. So if you want to chat with someone about building out your Mycase stuff, how do I copy this? For some reason, I can't copy paste. Crystal, can you just send that to everyone? I'm sorry, I've direct messaged you. Here it is.
You see, I already put my link for the thing in the
Yes,
chat.
I put that earlier, but again, when I post it, I'll put that link also, as well as Crystal's link. Are you able to automate text messages? I think that is also part of the workflow, isn't it? Can't you build a workflow that includes text messages?
You know, you can, I mean, you can build the workflow where you tell somebody to text something, but it's not automated. There's no automation in your text messages. You have to specifically be intentional about who you're sending text messaging to. And I think that's,
but you can create templates for text messages, and then they could just, shove those in there.
Yeah, you could, but I haven't gone that far. But yeah, they could do that, which I'm going to do for my intake coordinator.
With Mycase gonna integrate with Zapier. They don't have an open API, so the short answer, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know probably not, because Zapier is so open. They have all kind of different integrations. Mycase is trying to stay with a closed API, and
Yeah.
mostly everything that they do, I mean, that we need in terms of practicing, I mean, it's all in one, it's all here.
I agree. I think
uh,
honestly, I think integration is a little overrated, to be honest. So people are always, touting, Clio integrates with this and Clio integrates with this, but it's like, it doesn't really need to. You just are doing it because it's there. And honestly, sometimes it's sort of busy work.
yeah,
So I think there's enough there that I don't think there needs to be a ton of integration. Me personally, the way I do things, I don't want everything to integrate. I like having different spokes of a wheel that do different things. And that way, if something doesn't work, I can just take that one piece out, replace it with something else, and the whole thing doesn't go to heck.
yeah, and that's kind of my thinking on like building out an active campaign or whatever. So all of my contacts and everything, I can take some from my leads and my case and put them into that kind of system, which I'll have forever. If I want to stick with the active campaign, or if I want to do something else. I think I have a lifetime deal from AppSumo on something. I think it's in charge, but I haven't even really gotten to, I bought it. So it's like active campaign, and I can just take my leads and put them in there, and that's separate. So if I ever wanted to just stop practicing, or just kind of build up leads, and for whatever reason give them to somebody else, I would have a whole data bank of that in and of itself, separated. And so that's, and right now, again, I'm not really doing a lot of that.
Rahlita, I have a question. So in your Sean Clayton case,
Mhm.
if you wanted Sean to upload documents in a portal,
Mhm.
how would you do that?
Okay, so they would have to upload them here in this portal, right? So I would say, so like here, I haven't added it yet, but I think we're supposed to put in here, I think I was going to edit it and say, if you have any documents, upload them to the portal. And so we have a new client letter that we give our new clients, and it tells them, kind of explains to them how to upload a document. But if they have any questions, they're supposed to contact Mycase for technical support. So I don't spend, so I mean, there's some more energy and time that I'm not spending on, so they will call, I give them the Mycase customer, and those people answer the phone. They're so nice all the time. In my case, I'm just gonna say it. I've been with them since 2017, and I have given everybody 10 stars every time I talk to those folks. Maybe one time was I upset since 2017. But anyway, so they will answer my clients' calls and they will talk to my clients about how to upload documents. So
Wow, that is nice.
so I'm just like, call Mycase. That's what we pay them for, technical assistance. Even though I'm not sure if Mycase be happy that I'm telling all y'all that, the client's gonna start calling them. But anyway, that's what I do. And so that's every now and then. So just don't let your clients over and abuse it, okay? But anyway, so I would tell them, upload your documents here. And then if they had a question about uploading, I'll say, I would even give them the number, my assistants give them the number, or I would just have them refer to the new client letter for the Mycase information. And so then they call Mycase and then they get it there. But the way that they would do it is they would have to come over here to documents, and then they would have to add an item. So at least I would tell them this part because it's pretty easy. I would say go to the top and hit add item, and then add the document. So that's a picture or JPEG or whatever. But we also tell our clients to not send us JPEGs when they're not pictures. We expect PDFs. But anyway, that's how we do it. That's what I do for folks to upload it. So this is the only place they can upload documents. We don't take them anywhere else. And if they say they want to fax something, or if they want to email, it has to really, really, really be a hard case for us to do it. Like, okay, y'all really just can't get it. We're gonna let you do it but this is just this time, because it's not part of my workflows. And then we end up getting stuff in the emails and we don't even be looking for it from clients. And so then they're like, why didn't you do X, Y, Z? Well, it's not in this case because you didn't upload it to the portal. It's over here in these emails or somewhere else. I had a client that looked up some emails that I had used for Indeed and had medical records in a whole nother email address that didn't have anything to do with my clients. And so she was like, I emailed you. And I was like, well, we didn't get it. We didn't get it. So maybe a month, 2 months later, I checked that email because I was looking for somebody to work for me. And I looked over there and saw my client's medical records. And I was like, this is what she was saying. I was like, I haven't checked this email in about 3 months. And so we don't even do it even for the email that we use. So we're not looking for that. I don't have to spend no time on it. Clients can put it here that's less time and money that my assistants have to use, doing documents, transferring documents here and there.
Right, and we put ours in our fee agreement, and that's where they need to put the documents is at our portal. And I have a Canva sort of welcome packet that has links to it as well. So people, I'm clear from the beginning that there's a certain, you have to be, tech savvy in terms of being able to scan an email, and this is the only way that we accept cases and it's easy for me to justify because I'm flat fee, and I'm like, this is how I can offer predictable flat fees because I'm not using my 20 years of legal experience and, my whatever I spent at Tulane Law School to convert a JPEG to a PDF. Like, that's
Right.
not what I was hired for.
Right.
You hired me to lawyer, not to scan. So I just make it really clear that this is what you have to do in order to work with us. And sometimes it works. And I obviously make an exception for my pro bono and domestic violence victims, but everybody else, if you want to work with us, this is how it's done. And if you can't, then it's just not going to work out. You can find somebody else because you're not going to bring a grocery bag full of documents over to my office.
Okay, and one more thing about documents, and then I'm going to stop talking. Okay, see here where you can save a copy. Let's see here, save a copy. This is a Word document. If I wanted to hit this and save this into an entirely new client's file, then I can do that. Let me see.
That is helpful.
Let me see. So you could take this and you could take it and come up with another client. Let's see here. Okay, so I just say.
And it looks like you can save it as a firm document as well. So you can save it firm wide.
Right, you sure could. You save it as a Word document too. So anyway, you just save the document, and so therefore you don't have to like download, upload, put it back over here, try to figure, just hit that copy button and get it to another case if you need it. You think it's ready to go. So anyway, I'm sure I could probably think of some other things about my case that I do, but we're gonna stop right there.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you so much, Rahlita, for putting this on. I will upload this probably later this evening, and you'll have the code for my case with the 3 months free. If you want to sign up, and if you have any questions, reach out to Mycase or look at their website for any questions. But I find a lot of the questions that I had about my case when researching it for this presentation, I could easily find. So anything that you want to do, I think there's going to be an answer there. So hopefully this kind of helps figure out whether or not my case should stay on your list of practice management systems that you want to demo.
And let me add about the link, because I'm not sure if it just says that it expires on today for 8/31.
It does.
Okay, so that goes all the way to September 30th, even though it says it there. So I've talked to somebody at Mycase and they gave me that's my personal link. So don't be deterred. You don't have to run there today to sign up. You still have some time. But I would still urge you to try to hurry up and get it done. I think Mycase is an excellent option. You're going to be saving so much money. You're going to be making so much more money because you can like reduce it from the beginning. You can assign these tasks and everybody have their work to do, and they start billing. So if you upbill for your assistance time, then you're making money by having Mycase, by just not having anything. So that's a whole nother
Yeah, that's a whole nother TED Talk, delegation.
Right. Okay. So anyway, again, reach out to me if y'all need to get my code for that link. If y'all need that, have any more questions for Mycase, let me know.
Thanks so much.